Invictus is a 2009 film directed by cinematic legend Clint Eastwood, starring Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman. The film is based on the events following apartheid South Africa, in which Nelson Mandela attempts to unify a very divided nation. With a white minority who has ruled and oppressed the black majority for decades, now displaced from power. Fearing that the nation will turn on them. With the white minority fearing that the nation will turn on them. Mandela was a brilliant leader and a great man who fought against the apartheid system, imprisoned at Robben Island for resisting the apartheid system, but once he was freed and elected president of South Africa, Mandela did not seek vengeance towards the white minority, but instead he seeks unity, and Mandela realized that through sport and through the love of rugby that many people in South Africa had, that this unity could be achieved. Now first off, Morgan Freeman is perfect as Nelson Mandela. He is the obvious person to play as Mandela, and he gives a very good performance as Mandela to the point that it is not Morgan Freeman on the screen, but Nelson Mandela, conveying the real person very well on the screen, that this is Mandela, and the real actual person is on the screen. Freeman isn't, Mandela is. He's that good in the film. Matt Damon is also very good in this film, as the captain of the Springboxer, conveying a real macho sports leadership in his film. But a leader, and he is also a leader who is able to bring his team together and lead by example. The character that annoyed me the most in this film was the reporter in the film, the sports journalist. I'm not sure if he's real or not, or if he was just created for the sake of the film, but his character came off as quite stereotypical of a journalist and has this douchebag persona to him. His character comes off as a major jerk. The themes of identity and belonging play a huge role in this film. The themes of identity are shown through the differing cultures within South Africa. Mandela is attempting to create a new unified nation. The identity he wishes to achieve for South Africa is unification and diversity. As he puts it, the idea of a rainbow nation, which is represented through the flag of South Africa. But many of the white people are unsure of what their identity is in this new South Africa, with many identifying with the old apartheid system, which is shown in the very first rugby match in the film, with the flags being waved by the crowd being a sea of the old apartheid flag, which shows that although there is no longer a legal divide, there is still a very big divide between the white and black communities in South Africa. The divide between black and white is shown through the fact that the black members of the crowd support the opposition, the British, and not the South African rugby team, with the rugby team still being seen as a symbol of the old apartheid system. Mandela recognizes this divide in the sport, but Mandela also realizes that sport can play a major role in bringing people together to forge a new national identity, and that it can be used as a way of bringing South Africa together into a sense of belonging. And through his quest for unification, Mandela is able to bring South Africa to unification, which is shown at the very end of the film, when the whites have embraced this new South African identity, with the flags in the sports stadium being the new Rainbow Nation flag, which represents the diversity of this new South Africa, and the black South Africans having come to support it, through the player Chester, who is the one black South African in the rugby team, and through Mandela's support. Eastwood sets up a David and Goliath struggle in the film through the rugby match with South Africa, as the South Africa is the underdogs, as they are not expected to win. This is shown through the first rugby match, in which South Africa is completely smashed in the first game. And later into the film there is a scene where Mandela is in the car with a Minister of Sport, and he is explaining to them their odds against defeating the All Blacks, by stating the scores of the matches. This creates a sense of tension in the film, as the South Africans aren't expected to win, and allows for the audience to root for the South Africans, as everyone likes to support an underdog. Eastwood uses a bit of symbolism in his film to try and convey meaning. Now, the symbolism isn't anything that's special, and it's pretty easy to put together, such as at the very beginning of the film with the road shown in the film, where it is used as a metaphor for representing the divided nation between the rich white South African minority and the black poor majority. Splitting the two groups through the roads, with the white kids are seen as playing rugby in their uniforms, while the black kids are poor and are playing soccer. Black kids cheer as Mandela passes by, whereas the white kids greet Mandela as they look at him with suspicion. My favourite part of this film, however, was the moment in which the rugby team visited Robben Island, the island of which Mandela was sent to prison for 30 years, and Matt Damon personally goes inside Mandela's prison cell, closing the gates behind him, staring out the window as Morgan Freeman recites over the poem Invictus. This acts as a motif, perfectly representing Mandela's own personal struggles in his time in prisons, but how he never gave up and fought on. This is a key thing in Mandela's own identity, as his time in Robben prison and this poem helped to shape his identity and never to give up. Ultimately, Invictus is a tale of unity, and how sports can be a great way of bringing people together, no matter what their race or culture is. And for that, it receives an A. Thank you guys, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.